swear I do not believe it. And they are back on terms.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to New York Talk. You're all wearing your best suit and tie, and you've got your posh glasses out for this one. It's that end of season, third annual end of season Black Tie Event Award episode. Thank you all for joining us. That may well be as formal as it gets in the entire season, that intro. So enjoy that, savor it. So anybody that's not YouTube, hello. Anybody that's listening to the audio, three of us have bow ties on, and Danny has come in very well dressed with a tie, and even got a tie clip. I like it, Danny.
Yeah, I'm not posh enough for a bow tie, so I thought push bow out and have the clip on instead.
Exactly. Ben, for all you Ben fans out there, just let me know what you're eating at the minute.
I'm not eating anymore. Finished. I was eating large pudding.
Sincerest apologies, mate.
I'm trying to do my wrist thing.
You trying to do what, sorry?
Yeah, can't do them.
Your wrist things.
Trying to do them 5 minutes.
I did warn you all that would be as posh as it gets at the start of the episode. So yeah, we've got 9 categories today to go through. I'll not list them all now, but we do have them. This is what's been voted on through Twitter over the last week. So I hope these are what everyone agrees with, but we'll see. If you're with us, let us know. Neil Lewis Bridges, hey, Phil Rawlinson, Liam McGarry, S64 Miller, Cheryl Stone points out me and Mick were the wrong way around. We sorted it. Michael Mortimer, Phil Hulley says we're looking dapper, guys. Thank you very much. Feeling it. So there'll be no transfer chat. There'll be no Rotherham United chat other than the season. This is just purely an awards episode. We'll come on to all the transfer rumours next episode on Thursday. And we'll also reveal our predictions, our pre-season predictions, which should be a good laugh.
Oh, yes.
Reese Kellick, evening all, just finished work, so sat in the pub having a drink while watching us. Thank you very much for joining us, Reese. Right, shall we just crack on? Shall we go with some awards, yeah?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
go for it.
First one we have is mine. Gold envelopes, everybody again. Everybody was last year. Remember the gold envelopes? Hand-delivered to Danny's house. For Danny's ones, and delivered to everybody. So we have, I said, opposition individual performance of the season is the first category. So as the name suggests, this is which individual players had the best performances against us. I should give a memorable mention to Callum Morton, who I forgot to add onto the voting list for Fleetwood, and he was excellent. I don't think he would have won, but he is a very memorable performance. So the actual nominees are Wes Hoolahan, which was Cambridge at home. Matej Kovar was a Burton keeper away at Burton. And another keeper, Josh Griffiths, Lincoln away. Those are the 3 nominations we had for this one. Danny, start with Wes Hoolahan. At home, 38-year-old Wes Hoolahan. He rolled back the years that day. I know he won the game in the end, but he was excellent that day.
Yeah, he was. I remember, I can't remember if it was Matt Goodwin on commentary or someone said he's the only player on the pitch older than Richard Wood, which I think for Woody is some achievement. But yeah, Hoolahan was excellent against us. He effectively ran the show in midfield, which is something that we don't really say when we've got Balasa on the pitch. But yeah, he was absolutely exceptional, and he played like a man who was 10 years younger and causes all sorts of problems. Yeah, a deserved nominee.
I completely agree. And he's been released, Mick, by Cambridge United. I know he's 38-year-old, but he can absolutely do a job for somebody in League One or even League Two next season. If I really wanted to League Two to, I'd be looking at him if he's not retiring.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a hell of a player, isn't he? Absolutely. That were an outstanding performance for me, and certainly got my vote for this category because I don't think anybody came close. And we've got some, as we know, we've got some very, very good midfielders in this division. Him who shall remain nameless, who may sit on our bench one day. There's Dan Balasa, Ben Wiles. you know, and then you've got a 38-year-old lad coming in and just absolutely tearing it up. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Top notch.
Ben, before I ask you any questions, I know you've missed some games this season. How many of these games do you remember? I should have checked this
I don't
before.
remember the Wes Houlihan one.
Okay.
Who were the other two? Burton keeper and who keeper?
Lincoln away. Those were both midweek games, so I'm not sure you would have watched them.
No, I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did, unfortunately.
Well, looks like we're not going to Ben for this category. Danny, let's go all the way back to, I think it was September with Josh Griffiths with the keeper for Lincoln City at that night. Will Grigg, because I think it was the league debut for Will Grigg. And Will Grigg could have had a couple of goals. Josh Griffiths single-handedly won Lincoln that point that day. He was superb.
Yeah, he was. He was definitely showing why he's an England youth keeper, even though he's at Lincoln in League One. I think that was that the game after. No, it was the game after we lost to Fleetwood, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. That was the response, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was the start of our record-breaking 26 game unbeaten run in all competitions, 21 in the league, I think it was. And yeah, he put in a very stellar performance. I distinctly remember there was one chance that came to, I think it was Smudge, whilst it was 1-1. And he sort of headed it down and he sort of got his hand to it, but it's like hit the floor and hit his hand at the same time. An absolutely exceptional save. Yeah, it was. It's a shame he was injured for the end of Lincoln's season because it could have helped them finish higher up the league. But he's definitely a keeper who's going to go on to bigger and better things, I think. Yeah,
I'd say so. If anybody in the comments on YouTube or Facebook wants to let us know any other players that we've missed out on this category, feel free to let us know. Mick, Mateusz Kovar, who was the Burton keeper. It was a funny old game because it was third, fourth game at Ascot at the end of the season. And the team performance got a little stick because we lost. But their keeper, again, he at least got him a point, their keeper. At least a point.
He saved the game, didn't he, for him? Caused us no end of stress after that. You know, it was an excellent performance and some really, really, really good saves as well. So yeah, fully deserving of that of a nomination at least. So yeah, I'm just trying to work out whether Ben's managed to fasten his cuffs yet or not.
I am.
Yay!
Yeah, Phil Rose was just yes. Could somebody go and help Ben get dressed, please?
I've gone with that. I've rolled up my sleeves, so I don't have to bother.
I've done them.
So anybody who's worried about Benjamin, it took 8 minutes and 11 seconds into the episode, but he has finally got dressed. Well done, Benjamin.
Thank you.
Milling's ex-co says Griffiths saved them the point, but we were relentless for the second half, and for him that was the moment he realised we were the real contenders. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Right, should we do our first award? Let me be quite tight this one. This is a one to all. When you have to open your envelopes, we should have invested in some sort of drum roll, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Wes Houlihan is the winner. Very, very justly deserved for Wes Houlihan. It's one of the best individual performances against us in a long time for me. In a long, long time.
Definitely.
It was excellent.
Yeah, 100%.
Before we go further, Will Robert wants to know, have we gone full the way suit ties and stuff, or is it just PJs in the bottom? That'd be telling Will. Can't say, I'm afraid. And Curly Louise says yes, with the 4 contenders for the next Bond.
Can I just comment on that, please? If Ben's the next contender for the contender for the next Bond, he'd be the Bond who would pull his gun out and then the slide would fall off it. I think Ben would be more of a Johnny English than a James Bond.
That's true. I like how Mick got the big glass out for his beer to look posh and then just downed it. Just put it in the edge of your...
The problem with putting it in there, it goes flat.
Oh, well,
I'm reverting back to type.
Okay, Benjamin, you're up. Second category, please.
Ryzen Star.
Yes. Your envelope is numbered to let you know what number category we're on.
So, Ryzen Star. This is under 23. Under 23s, yeah?
Correct.
The nominees are Saya Tutu, Wiles, Coyote, and Hansen.
Yes, they are. Who should we start with? We're aside to your first one, Ben.
Yeah, Saya Tutu.
Let's go with him then, Ben. He's a rising star. Obviously not a Rotherham player, but a permanent player, but still, he's got some. It took a bit of time, though, didn't it?
Yeah, he has got some, but I think he, I don't know, he doesn't look like a team player, if that makes sense. I think he's like his head goes down easily, and he's a good player. He showed that. I mean, he took him that Wembley goal to actually, pull his finger out, but he has been a good player since that Wembley game. I think up until then, it'd have been, he were doing noteworthy. Let's be fair. But after that, it looked like he got some confidence.
Okay. I would like to point out we've made a mistake on that envelope. Georgie Saitutu was not nominated. Jake Hull was nominated for that one. That's not your fault, Ben. That's my fault for writing down. Jake Hull was the nomination for that one. So apologies. Mick, Jake Hull has got a future. He's got a big future, that kid, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. I mean, that once he got that Wembley goal, he really started.
Oh dear.
Oh, this is so well organised, and so I'm so pleased to be a part of it. Listen, he's a good player, without a shadow of a doubt, and he got his goals against in the Papa John's as well, and he is looking, like you said, like a really, really good prospect. I think a couple more years, I suspect, out on loan before he's ready to make that step up. But make no mistake, he'll definitely be able to make it, won't he?
I think so. The next one on the list, Danny, is Ben Wiles, and it seems really strange to put Ben Wiles in the category of Rising Star. The criteria was start of the season under 23, so that's why he qualifies for it. It's almost a coming of age season for Ben Wiles because he's been hit and miss, is maybe a bit too harsh on previous seasons, but this season he has properly come into his own and been a superstar at times.
Yeah, I think so. I think it goes back to the old narrative of you can always tell when Ben Wiles is playing well because he's exceptional, but we always say he has a bad game when he's just being a good midfielder. But yeah, this season he's come on leaps and bounds from the previous season. I think we definitely saw that against Bolton at their place. He absolutely ran the show against Bolton, grabbed 2 goals, and has just kicked on from there. And personal highlight of the season for me with Ben Wiles is when we won at Wembley. He was just there with a big bottle of champagne, just necking it to himself. I mean, you can take the lad out of Romarsh, can't you? But you can never take Romarsh out of the lad. But yeah, this has been Ben Wiles's season, especially in terms of development as a more mature footballer, shall we say? And he's deserved everything that he's won this season, from the EFL trophy to promotion to countless man of the match performances. It's been a fantastic season for him.
Yeah, 100% has. Lee McGarry says when Wiles got his vote, a very solid season and matured very quickly in the football game, going for some player. Phil Rawlinson says the same sort of thing. Ben Wiles looks a player well above his age. Yeah, absolutely. And Phil Rose says, is this live? Yeah, if you didn't know it was live before, then you'll know it was live after we made a mistake with Jake Hull. So there was the next one. Ben, JJ, Josh Cody was the next one on the list. The hope was, and there was a massive buzz about JJ at the start of the season, and there still sort of is because he hasn't played enough, and that's not really his fault because you've had Will Vergin for Michael Smith and whatever, but we're still waiting for him to see his full potential on the pitch. He hasn't played. Yeah,
I don't think he will play either next year. I think if we sign Grigg to a permanent, which obviously not talk about transfers, but he's looking likely, touch wood. I don't think he's going to play that much next year. Obviously, if we don't bring him in, then he is, and we'll get to see him. But he's another one who's exciting, and you haven't really seen much of him, which is a bit annoying. Because the thing is with Wiles is when he came into the squad, you just put him in. But the thing is, like Coyote, he's not getting over Smith, is he? Let's be fair.
Yeah.
He's not getting over Smith, and he's a similar type of player to Smith. So, yeah, I want to see more, but I wouldn't play him over Grigg or Smith, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think for him particularly next season is a big season. He won't actually. I think he'll go out on loan somewhere, and I think that's going to be a big season for him. Sorry, my bow tie's going to skew it. Oh my God, no! My bow ties fell off.
They don't have this trouble at the Oscars, do they?
No, this has gone terrible. Mick, Victor Hansen again, similar to Wilesy, that it seems strange to put him on the Rising Star award because he's been very, very good for 2 seasons now. But again, still in the infancy of his footballing career and showing he's got huge potential.
Listen, let's not forget the fact that he made his professional debut last season. Yeah. You know, he's a hell of a keeper. We all love Victor. We all loved him before we got to know. We loved him before we got to know him. Everybody loves him. Now I've got to know him. I love him even more. You know, and I just want him. He's one of those players you want to stay around forever. You know, just because of his personality. But you add on top of that his ability in goal, which is developing and developing. You can almost it's another one like a bit like Ben Wiles, really, where you can actually almost see him developing. You know, and he's got that thing that a lot of goalkeepers don't have, that to become a really, really top class goalkeeper you need, and that is he's completely fearless. Yeah, he's totally fearless. You know, he's just a hell of a player. I can't believe we've got him. I can't. I mean, it's one of them, you know. But there's a few players in this squad that I can't believe an actual Rotherham United contracted players. You know what I mean? And Victor's one of them. He's going to be a hell of a keeper.
100%. Ben, do us the honours and open your envelope, please.
The winner is Ben Wiles.
Very well done, Wilesy. Very well deserved. Excellent player. Going to be even better than he is now, and he's a very good player as it is.
Once he gets another season in Championship under his belt, playing in his actual position, because bear in mind, last time he was just pushed from pillar to post. This time next year, you know, he is going to be some player. He is going to be some player, that lad. Not that he ain't already.
No, that's true. Mick, I think we come to you next for the third category.
Oh, is it me?
Loanee of the season.
Yes, loanee of the season, and the nominees are. Sorry, I need to have a big screen behind me, and a picture or something, or whatever. Romani Edmonds-Green, Will Grigg, and somebody who will obviously be listening in Las Vegas will be able to fetch him back from his room where he was probably crying after Ben's mistake there, or the mistake you made, Ben. Make Georgie Tutu is the third nominee.
Very good. Start with Reg, Danny. Again, he's a little bit like Ben Wiles in that he's playing above his level. He's probably playing above his years. He's just such a good player, and it says all about a loan player. I'm supposed to like Greg in a minute, but we want him to come back. We are desperate for him to come back again next year, and that's a sign of how good a loan player's been. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, they always say don't fall in love with loan players, but I think it's difficult not to fall in love with those three because in their own right they've been very, very good for us this season. With Reg, he's definitely got a very sound defensive head that goes beyond his years. And he's been very, very good in the back three with Wood and Icky, to the point where he's been able to bag 3 goals for himself in Rotherham shirt, including the absolute screamer that was at Cheltenham, I think. I think it was Cheltenham.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
No, it's tough, mate. And then he's bagged the goal against Gillingham as well, which, you know, to have that little bit of instinct, just get that little touch on it and just upset everybody and get the ball in the net. Again, shows he's beyond his years with experience. And Huddersfield, please let us have him back for a season in the Championship, please.
Yeah, absolutely stinking lovely. Donna London says Reggie. Chris Wright says got to be Reg. Phil Rawlinson, Reg is definitely Championship quality. Zoe Boyle says Reg, 100%. Love Grigg as well, a very intelligent player. Ben, Will Grigg. He is known for the goals, obviously. That's what Will Grigg is known for. He's a striker, you know, that's what it is. But he's so much more than just a goal scorer. He's got so much more to his game. Zoe mentioned it there. He is one of the most intelligent footballers in that position I can remember seeing. His runs and his touches are so clever at times.
Yeah, it is absurd, and you can see why he scored however many he scored for Sunderland. Pretty sure he scored against Man City as well in FA Cup, didn't he?
For Wigan,
to win
not
it.
for Sunderland.
For Wigan, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, well yeah. I meant Wigan. I didn't mean Sunderland. But yeah, you can see why he scored so many goals, and I think if we'd have played him, or if he'd have managed to stay fit, and if we'd have given him some more chances this year, I'm positive that he would have got 10 plus goals, and I think he can do that. Yeah, I think I am one of his biggest fans. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah. It's not coincidence, Mick, that dropping form coincided with his injury for me. I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
It's definitely not, no. Definitely not. I know when we talked about him when we were on a podcast a few months ago, and we were talking about whether he might sign for next season, and John, the Birmingham fan, mentioned the fact that he's not got a great record in the Championship, and I think people do see him just as a goal scorer, you know, because of his reputation and everything else. Everybody seems to see him as a goal scorer, and I guess that's why Sunderland bought him, you know. But that's not really his game, is it? No. You know, he is a bit of a poacher, kind of Adam Lafondra type poacher, but he's got so much more that he brings to the team. Like Zoe said there about his intelligence, the way he reads the game, his ability to hold up the ball and bring other players into play is just, you know, he's almost 6'6" the way he does that. You know what I mean? He's almost Michael Smith-esque. But what it does allow is Michael Smith and other midfielders to take some of the chances or create more chances and obviously take them as well. So he's a very, very good player, and he's got far more to his game than I ever thought he had. I just believe the hype, you know what I mean? And there's more to it, isn't there? Much more.
Yeah, there is. Zorbal says his link-up play is amazing, and it is.
Absolutely.
Will Roebuck says we compare Grigg to Freddie. 15 goals for Freddie, 2 for Smith, 2 for Grigg in the league, but Grigg is miles clear. Yeah, that's on the up. Then I'm going to touch your microphone because he went a bit. But Georgie assigned 2-2. We briefly mentioned him, but we'll talk about it again later on when we have another category. But again, he wasn't amazing, but I would want him back next season. I'm interested to see what he can do at next level. We did start to see some moments from him.
Yeah, we did. How's the microphone going?
Seems all right.
I've now sussed what it is. It's when it's too close to me to my mouth and I make a loud noise, it goes buzzy.
Nailed it.
So by pushing it away, it's all right. But anyway, yeah. What was the question?
2-2.
2-2. Right. Yeah. Again, one of the players who I think started a little bit slow in a Rotherham shirt, but after having big injuries, I think it was Forrest, and being injured when he first came to us, it was going to take him a bit to settle. And I think by the end of it, he was very settled, especially after the performance at Wembley. He definitely improved his game after that. And I think it's because he developed that connection, not just with the squad, but with the fans as well, which is a massive boost for a player when they come on loan to someone. And I think the Wembley goal will be another one that lives long in the memory. You know, he saved the game for us so that Chio and Nicky could score in extra time and win it for us. And yeah, probably someone I'd like back next season to see how he handles himself in the Championship, where they do give you a little bit more time on the ball. Yeah, it should be hopefully very good, not just a backup to Chio, but also very good on the left side, where he's made a name for himself as well.
Absolutely. One of my favourite things about Will Grigg, before we move on to the winner, is that he's off in Vegas having a lovely old time with his favourite teammates. While his parent club go through the trials and tribulations of a playoff campaign. That's just beautiful to me. Mick, give us the answer. Who is Rotherham United's loanee of the season, please?
Oh, yeah, it's me, innit? Okay. I'm not convinced this is going to be a surprise to anybody.
This was the least close vote of all of them.
Yeah. I know that your wife wrote these out. She obviously can't spell Romani Edmonds Green, but Reg, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I tell you what, Greg should run in close.
Yeah, if Greg wouldn't have got injured, I think he would have run closer.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should shout out Andrew Kelly, who's tweeted us with him and Grace's attire for tonight. They've both gone full bow tie, Rotherham shirts and bow ties. So
Massively impressive.
Loving it.
Why did I think of that? That'd have been exceptional.
It would. So now we go to not play of the season. My category again is goal of the season. If anybody wants to give any memorable mentions in the notes after I've read the nominees out, let us know, because I've missed Danny mentioned the Reg one earlier. That could have made it onto this list, to be honest with you. It hasn't. But the nominations are the winner of the club goal of the season, Dan Balasa at Accrington at home. Ben Wiles with the Wembley goal. That's against Sutton, obviously. Ollie Rathbone's home goal against Wigan. And Michael Smith with the early goal in the season at Morecambe away. Danny, go from bottom to top on this one. The Michael Smith shot from miles and miles out was one of those ones where you're thinking, what are you doing shooting from the... Oh, my God, it's amazing. You don't expect from Michael Smith either. He's the last person in the world I would think shoot from there. Brilliant.
Yeah. Is that the goal against Morecambe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same boat as you. When we were at Morecambe, we were thinking, oh, why is he shot from there? Hang on. And then it just dips in. But I think a little mention has to go to Ollie Rathbone's hard work to win the ball back, where he basically just threw himself into the challenge, won the ball back, drove it forward. But it's Smith's neat footwork just to completely skin the defender. And that little glance up, and you can tell he has thought, I'm going to hit this. And he's hit it, and it's at least it's Michael Smith's goal of the season, at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just goes to show that he's not just the big centre forward that you lump it to, or the guy on the post at headers or anything like that. He does have a screaming goal in him. We saw it when he scored against who was it a couple seasons ago, where he picks the ball up and just shoots from 30 yards. It was at home, and I can't remember for my life who were it against. But he's more or less done the same thing against Morecambe, and yeah, it's just a stunning strike that I think sent us all a little bit delirious in the away end that we've just scored a goal like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Another goal that sent us delirious, Ben. I'll ask you this one. I know you were there for this one. Ben Wiles at Wembley. Beautiful kiss off the underside of the bar. One of the best looking type of goals is where it kisses the underside of the bar. And it's Wembley. A Rotherham boy scoring for Rotherham at Wembley from miles out. It ticks a lot of the boxes, that Wiles goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I remember seeing it. Obviously, we were at the game in the away end, and I remember seeing it go in. I remember him shooting. I remember seeing it going in. No, you know what I meant. We were at Wembley, but I remember seeing him shoot, and I remember seeing it go in, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good goal." And then, yeah, I'm not surprised that he shot and it went in. But I remember seeing it on the monitor afterwards, and it was just ridiculous. And then I saw it again on Sky when I got home, and it's ridiculous. And yeah, Rotherham boy at Wembley is, I mean, you get any better than that?
I can't believe you didn't think it was an amazing goal at the time. That's crazy to me, Ben. It would be
amazing. I didn't really register it first because we just scored, so I was like, we scored, and then this Botar gave me indigestion, by the way.
It's giving you indigestion?
Yeah. Tight things on my neck give me like indigestion.
Moving on very quickly.
I don't think that's how biology works, Ben.
It is. I promise you right now. And then when I put my legs up on something, but yeah.
Anyway, Miller's ex-co, honourable mention to Ollie Rathbone against Wigan, Mick. Class hit and a very important goal. Yeah, Ollie Rathbone's got this in his locker, as it turns out. When he did it, I was very surprised. I think he did it again the game after against somebody else and nearly scored. This is another string to Ollie Rathbone's incredible bow of being a footballer.
Yeah. Is this the don't shoot?
Yeah.
Oh, great goal. Yeah. I mean, he has, and he's a player, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you know, when we went to that the thing the other night at Town Hall, and Warney mentioned about swapping 6'7" Matt Crooks for 5'2" Ollie Rathbone. You know, if you look at that swap, which is essentially what it was, why would it ever work? You know, it's a ridiculous suggestion, and yet here we are. You know, sort of 12 months later, singing the praises of the little lad that's replaced the big lad, and it's like we've never. It's like we've not missed him. We haven't missed him. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, Tree, but we haven't missed you. You know, you've gone to bigger and better things, and we've just replaced you with somebody just as good.
Can we get an honourable mention for Paul Warren's absolutely diabolical comment about Ollie Rathbun at the town hall when he said we're going to replace 6'8" Matt Crooks with 5'2" Ollie Rathbun?
Yeah.
You saw the pain in his eyes at that comment. First thing he says to Paul Davis afterwards, I'm actually 5'8".
Yeah. Brilliant. Phil Rollinson says, when Ben went, Wiles has scored, he fell over 3 rows and snogged a stranger. Ben, that's how you celebrate at Wembley.
Yeah, I didn't just go, Wiles has scored. I didn't celebrate, but...
all right. The final one on the list, Danny, is the Dan Balasa Accrington home. A very, very eventful game, which won't be the last final mention of that game tonight. But that's just a sign. That's such, again, much like Ben Wiles is kissing off the crossbars, a beautiful looking goal. That first time on the volley from miles out is also a beautiful thing and all.
Yeah, and he's caught it so well, hasn't he? It's just the ball just dropped perfectly for him. And again, I think it's one of them things where just gone, I'm just going to hit it. You know, if it goes over, it goes over. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And he's caught it so sweetly. And it's even on the bounce down, you know, so to get that much height whilst it's coming back down is some skill. And he's not even got power behind his leg. He's just sort of gone like that with it. And, so people beat him when it left his foot. Very, very good goal. I think, again, it's certainly Balasa's goal this season. Maybe Cambridge.
Well, they can't. It's not on list, so they can't have the Cambridge one.
Yeah, but it's a close. In his own mind, it's a close run between those two. Yeah,
he's got a lot to thank Chio for the Cambridge one, though. To be fair,
I'm shoots from the away end.
Yeah, absolutely. So there, those are your nominees, and the winner is can't get in these envelopes. Dan Balasa, I guess Accrington Stanley. Unsurprisingly, a beautiful goal. Danny, we're coming to you for the first time tonight in terms of the categories. You have individual performance of the season. This would be which Rotherham player had the best performance in an individual game.
Indeed, individual performance of the season. And your nominees are Josh Vickers, Shrewsbury away, Ben Wiles, Bolton away, Michael Smith, Portsmouth at home, and Dan Balasa, Gillingham at home.
Yes. Mick, start with Dan Balasa again because why not? Because we love him. I wanted to get Dan Balasa in here because I think he's been superb all season. And that Gillingham game felt the perfect one to pick because he should have had a hat-trick. He scored a penalty, scored a goal from a very difficult angle, and then missed a penalty by hitting bar. I know it was Gillingham when they were on the haunches and we won 5-1, but that was just an example of how good Dan Balasa can be and how devastating he can be to impact a game.
He's too good for us. I know I've said that already tonight. He's a hell of a player, and that night just kind of summed it all up for him, didn't it? You know what I mean? And it was such a shame that I think he probably got a bit of a rush of blood and decided he wants to break back at net with that penalty, didn't he? And he nearly broke crossbar with it. To be fair, I mean, it would have been so sweet for him to take match ball home after the performance that he put in that night. But it's not the only one, as we've said. You know, it's not the only performance of the season from him. He's been absolutely outstanding.
It was absolutely. Ben, again, I'm going to ask you which one of these performances have you seen? Do you remember Michael Smith at home to Portsmouth, 4-1 victory?
No.
Moving on. Danny, well, again, this is a bit more Michael Smith where he scored loads of games where he got 2 goals. Could have picked 4 or 5 different games that for Smithy, to be honest with you. And this just felt like a very good one because it was against his former club. And it was just amazing. And it's just so for the season he's had. Just what a player Michael Smith is, and that game, amazing.
Yeah. Is my mic better or is it still dodgy?
It seems better now. It's just intermittent.
All right, weird. Yeah, I think Smith against Portsmouth will be remembered for me for the shushing celebration to their fans. That
the back heel as well. That was that game, wasn't it?
Yes, the back heel. I think it's the first ever back heel goal scored at New York Stadium as well. Yeah, so again, Smith against his former clubs, he's been fantastic against his former clubs. And then factor in his Sunderland performance as well because he's a Geordie. But I think Portsmouth was definitely improving a point to their fans, not just because they've sort of dismissed him as a good player, but also showing him that this is what I can do when I'm in effectively the right setup. And bagged a brace against them, shushed their fans. What more can you want?
Exactly. Andrew Kelly says Smithy's back heel was one of his goals of the season, and it was a very good goal to be fair. Josh Vickers against Shrewsbury again. I could have picked 2 or 3 games from Josh Vickers. He went through a spell of winning those games, and I know he only picked up a point against Shrewsbury, but he was unstoppable that night. There was nobody getting anything past on that man that night. That was one of the best individual goal performances I've seen in a Rotherham shirt in a long time. It was amazing.
It was, and had it not been for him, we wouldn't be promoted now, would we? I know we could say that for a lot of players in different sets of circumstances across the season, but that game particularly was a really, really tough game. That's the only thing we got out of Shrewsbury all season, and you would have had that down for. It's never easy, but you would have had that down as a 6 points from the 2 games against them, and. We nearly didn't even get a point. Had it not been for Josh Vickers, then we wouldn't have. So yeah, he went on a hell of a run, didn't he? He went on a hell of a run throughout that unbeaten run and forced Victor. Forced Victor onto the bench and never looked back, did he? Until he got that injury. And that probably was the pinnacle of his performances throughout that period. Brilliant, great keeper. 2 unbelievable keepers we've got, both ours. It's ridiculous, man.
In terms of awards, then
they're both going to be playing the Trading Championship next year, which is where they deserve to be.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah. On our awards, then neither of the keepers made it onto Player of the Season award, and that's only because neither of them played enough games. They just kept deposing each other. Because if one of those keepers had played 46 games this season, number one, they would have won the Golden Glove if that's a thing in this league. And number 2, they would have been in contention Player of the Season because they were both that good, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, we've always had good keepers, though, I think. Even when we had Rodak and, we've always had good keepers. And to say that they're both ours is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Militechnical says Shrewsbury, Morecambe, Accrington, and Lincoln. Thank you, Josh Vickers. Yeah. And there's probably a couple more to add in there. Plymouth away.
Yeah.
That could have easily been in. Anyway, Danny, the last nomination for this one is Ben Wiles away at Bolton. We talked about Ben Wiles earlier. Completely winning showdown against the best team in the division as well, to be fair to Bolton. So
yeah, and I did a bit of research into that game as well. If you take away the fact that Bolton played Wigan in a derby, that is their highest attendance of the season, and it were against us because they had the whole friend for a fiver thing and absolutely filled their stadium, and they just got to watch a Ben Wiles masterclass. 2 goals, and I think they recreated the second goal set piece routine later on in the season at Chef Wednesday when Ladipo scored. Stellar performance from Ben Wiles, and it was great to see him upset Thogden on his blog. He's fantastic.
Absolutely is.
Yeah, Thogden, what's the score? Wait.
Danny, if you would like to do us the honours and tell us who won the vote for the individual performance of the season, which I think is a good award. It's a very great award to win.
Certainly. And the winner is Josh Vickers for his performance away at Shrewsbury.
Absolutely. Fully deserving. He could have been nominated for 3 of those 4 spots, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Deserving that one. So that's another one ticked off. Benjamin, I'm going to give you another one if you can try and read out the right people this time.
signing that season. Well, if you'd have written that one's on card, then there was. So signing that
Cough all that,
season.
Mike. Why don't you just butcher it by coughing all over it?
Can I read
We'll have to
this, please?
disinfect that now.
Signing that season, yeah. Ollie Rathbone, Shane Ferguson, Hakeem Adoffin, and Georgie Kelly.
So one of those players nearly didn't make it onto the list, Mick. Can you guess which one nearly didn't make it onto the list until the last game of the season?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
But if you have an impact, if you're going to come on and have an impact, Georgie Kelly, he's your man.
He is. He can't win that award. He can't be player of the season, signing of the season. I mean, oh well, can he? I don't know now, mate.
That's what the criteria is, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it does really. I mean, for me, Ollie Rathbone got my vote. I think he's just been immense, and he's been massive. He's been so important to that midfield, and to put it into some sort of perspective, he's kept Jamie Lindsay out of the team. You consider the season that Jamie Lindsay had last year in the Championship at the level above, and he's kept him out of the team. And when Lindsay's come back into the team, he's been back. He's been absolutely brilliant, like he was last season, and yet he can't get in because of Ollie Rathbone. That's a hell of a signing for me.
Yes, it is. Shane Ferguson, though Ben has had a good season in and out of the team, but on his day when he's on it, Shane Ferguson is an exceptional footballer, but maybe a bit inconsistent. Maybe.
Yeah, he's all right. I think he's steady into the job. Well, he's not. He's not superstar, amazing player in my opinion. I think he's steady and he does a job.
I know the players will have better things to do in Vegas, and I hope they do, because I hope none of them are watching this, because Ben's not put on that yet.
I mean, listen, he probably will. I'm not a professional footballer, and I'm not a manager, as I've said multiple times, so they probably won't listen to me, but I'm just saying I don't think he's spectacular. I think he's steady, and I think he does a good job, and I think he's a good player.
I think his defensive attributes will come on strong next season. We have to defend a bit more. I think he's probably a better defender than his attacker, and we hadn't needed to defend really. That's a wait and see kind of thing. Hakeem Adoffin, Danny, again, he's only on the list because we didn't sign 12 players. What we have seen of him, he's done all right, but again, we've not seen enough of him to win this vote, really, have we?
I think Adoffin is under the category of a project for the future, for sure. In the same sense of Talaji Bowler as well. But yeah, what we have seen of him, especially in the EFL Trophy games, he has been very good. I think the one thing that we can say is a bit of a negative against him is the goal that he gave away against Wigan away early in the season. But it's early in the season, there's a bit of leeway there. Everyone's not quite up to the best level yet. But certainly in the EFL Trophy, he scored 2 absolutely cracking goals. All right, one of them was an own goal off the Donny keeper, but we still give it him just because. And then the one against Scunthorpe as well, I think. Yeah, he has done very well, and when he has come on the pitch, he's definitely done his job, and he's known his job and done it very, very effectively. It's just a shame that in the league, because we had Balasa playing in virtually that position, and he is the out wide merchant, shall we say, from that position. I think that's why it's kept Adoffin out the team. But it was good to see him one last time as he came on as sub against Gillingham, and I think it's been great for him to go out with the lads in Vegas as well. Because from what I've seen of Mikel Miller's Instagram, they're all absolutely loving it.
Oh, they're living their best life, aren't they? And as they would do. Miller's extra points on Ferguson, a value member of the squad, both on and off the field. And I think that's what's key with signings. Or maybe the part of the signings that we don't see is almost as important as the on-the-pitch stuff. I think Ferguson is clearly a great person to have around the squad. He's very popular, and he's clearly very popular.
He's hugely experienced as well, Matt. Like's been mentioned there. He's massively experienced. I don't think he's a wing back, by trade. He's probably more a left back than a wing back by trade. But can he put a ball in that box? Can he? But you've got to have players of his standing within the game in your squad, as well as your young, exciting players like Miller and Benny and so on. You need that balance, that experience, and that's what Shane Ferguson brings you. He's been a very, very valuable signing for me. Really important signing, like you said, probably as much off the pitch as on the pitch.
Yeah. I think there's a point about that. We've only made 5 signings, well, 6 if you include Josh Chapman. We've only made 6 permanent signings in the summer. So there weren't actually much to pick from. We're not like we had, like I said, we didn't have 12 signings. So the only person that's missed out on here is Josh Chapman, has not played. And Tolaji Bola didn't make it until the end of the game. He's not played enough minutes. Give me this one, Ben. Tell me. Who won player of the signing of the season? Sorry. Again, I don't think this was a close vote either.
Ollie Rathbone.
That is the correct answer. Well done, Ben.
I've ripped the envelope by accident.
I mean, we don't have to gift these out to people, so you don't have to worry about that.
Someone put them on wrong. So.
How can you put an envelope on wrong?
I don't know. But they did.
Moving on. Michael, team performance of the season.
Oh, yeah.
This will be the game where everybody thinks was the best Rotherham United performance of the season. Individual game. Go.
Right, okay. The nominees are Portsmouth at home.
Is that it?
Oh, sorry. Does there need to be any more? Really? Sunderland at home, McDonald's away, and Doncaster Rovers away. Those are the nominations for team performance of the season.
I should clarify that the Donny one is for the league game, not the Papa John's. Just because it was early rounds at Papa John's, that's why we didn't include that one. But let's start with that one, Danny. 5-0 victory in the league against your local rivals in front of 3,000 away fans. Talked another category go back, ticking all the boxes. I mean, what other boxes are left to tick in that one? Other than clinching promotion, it couldn't have been any more perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just need to look at what that result brought our stats to. 13 goals scored against Doncaster and 0 conceded in a single season. And I mean, it coincided with an absolutely torrid season for Doncaster, but we really put them to the sword in that game. It was very reminiscent of the Papa John's game, but with arguably a stronger 11. And I think it's our second highest away following of the season, just behind Sheff Wednesday. We can put that down to distance, really, because Sheff Wednesday's only up road and Doncaster's just up the road, just a bit further.
And they were a midweek game.
Yeah, and it were a midweek game. And the one thing I can remember from that game is somehow me and my mate, who I'll expose him and say he's a Sheffield United fan, but I says, "You want to come with me?" Yeah, go on then. And he says that is the best game of football he has ever been to, in terms of the how we played, but also the limbs that it was involved in, because we were right at the back of the stand and we were all over everybody at the back of the stand, especially with fifth one. I mean, I don't know if this is the winner. None of us know which the winner is, but that is my personal winner of the season, purely for the scenes in the away ends. And Jamie Lindsay got his first goal as well, didn't he?
Yeah. He did, absolutely. Ben, not to rub it in, but you missed that game. I know you were gutted that you missed that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. You want to rub it in anymore or what?
If I could think of more words to find a way to rub it in, I absolutely would. Let's move on. Move on to another one. Ben, were you at the Sunderland game?
5-0.
5-1.
5-1. Yeah.
Fantastic. I can ask you about this one. Brilliant. Yeah. Brian Vernon thinks it should be the winner. That's his pick. Yeah, we just tore them apart. And that's not an understatement. We completely battered one of the... This isn't Donny who were rubbish or bottom of the league. This is Sunderland who are on the verge of a playoff final as we record. And they just embarrassed them. Completely embarrassed them.
Yeah, but it wasn't fair, to be fair. They still should have got the 3 points, because they sold the away end out, didn't they?
That
It got a
is
big
very,
stadium.
very true.
So I think that was very unfair to say that, we won that game. Because they're a massive club, aren't they?
Proud of you, Ben.
That was it was a good. Obviously, it was a good game. Balasa and Smith loved that game. I imagine, given the both Geordies. I saw Balasa celebrating. Smithky, the Shearer celebration, didn't he? Yeah, that was just a very good day, and especially against a team that's in playoffs right now. So it weren't bottom of the league, was it?
No. If we had an award for celebration of the season, Dan Barlaser would win that one for the celebration.
He just ran over to away end, didn't he?
Yeah, quality.
I mean, so the story goes that he has mates who were Sunderland fans, and they were in the away end. I mean, Dan, if that's true, okay, but if it's not, it is the best finessing of the away end, apart from Michael Smith chushing the Portsmouth lot.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he just shoots off for everybody else and just goes and celebrates in front of their fans. It's the best thing ever.
It was. We should point out Dan Barlaser, when we spoke to Balasa, he said his weekend was that good last weekend. He got promoted with Rotherham, and the pub team his sponsors went and won their league as well. So the last weekend was a brilliant weekend for the Balasa household. So congratulations. We should find out the name, Mick. We never asked, did we? We'll find out.
No, we didn't.
Nick, you said Portsmouth should have been the winner. So talk me through why that Portsmouth game should win.
Because for me, we were just relentless that game, and there was a period in the second half of about 20 minutes where I don't think I can ever remember seeing Rotherham United dominate a team like we dominated Portsmouth in that period, and we just kept going and going and going and going, and it just kind of summed up for me. It just summed up what Warney had created in this side. A side of good human beings and everything else, like we've talked about in the past, and taking the mickey out of it, who were just relentless, and they were going for the throat relentlessly, to the point where, we're 4-1 up or 3-1 up or whatever it was, and JJ's chasing down the goalkeeper to create another goal. It was just, I thought it was brilliant, a fantastic performance for me. And I agree with what you've said about Sunderland game and everything else. That was an excellent performance as well. And I suppose there's probably not a lot to choose between them, but for me, just that 20-minute period in that Portsmouth game was absolutely electric.
It was. I agree. And the final one we're going to talk about is the MK Dons 3-0 away win earlier in the season, Danny. And this was sort of similar to those a little bit. We didn't necessarily embarrass them, but we were so comfortable in their backyard. And I know it was early days for them and they turned a corner, but they are an excellent footballing team. One of the best footballing teams in the division. Before they had their run, they were amazing at football. And we just beat them. Just simple as that. We just beat them. Yeah.
And it was a very compound victory as well. It wasn't like a 1 or a 2-0. It were a 3-0 comfortable. And I think a lot of Rotherham fans were quite fearful. Well, not fearful, but you know what I mean. A bit apprehensive, I think, is a better word, going into that game, because we knew that MK Dons had made some very good signings in the summer and basically coming out with intent to be a force in the league. And it's like, this is a sort of one of the games where we'll see where we're at with our own ability. And not to sound rude or anything, but we really did just push them aside to the point where their manager got major face on about it. Yeah. And I think that was just in the run of games where it's like, yeah, we could beat anybody in this league. And with the other results that are nominated, it just goes to show that we were such a united squad, shall we say, with such good footballing ability that we could effectively batter anybody in this league. And we beat quite comprehensively three of the top 10 sides in the league, which is something to be proud of, I think.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Paul Brock says, we're Sunderland top of the league when we beat them 5-1. A brilliant game. That was his vote. Liam McGarry says, honourable mention, got to add the 5-0 win against Manchester City in there. That was just a great performance as well. Yes, but he says Sunderland gets his vote. Michael, stop watching telly.
They were top.
I know. No, nothing like that at all. It's nothing to do with that at all. The winner is Sunderland at home.
Sunderland at home. Excellent performance.
Absolutely.
Right, the penultimate category and my favourite category, moment of the season, and this comes down to Danny.
Jolly good. Well, I can say for sure that all the ones that are nominated I have seen live, so I can read first hand. So, moment of the season, your nominees are Georgie Ozay 2-2 Wembley goal that obviously put us through to extra time. Josh Vickers' penalty save against Atkinson at home. Now, we don't condone the lad who got the assist for putting the player off. It's purely Josh Vickers' save in that situation. Right. Michael Smith's goal against Ipswich at home, which ended our stinking run of form at that point in time. And I think the one that we've all been waiting for, Georgie Kelly's goal at Gillingham away to clinch promotion for us.
Exactly. Let's start with the Josh Vickers one. As Danny mentioned there, we're not voting. We're not saying it was amazing. We're not talking about what happened prior to that. This category is called Moment of the Season. Not 5 minutes of the season or 10 minutes, moment of the season. And that moment where he saved it, Mick, I'm looking back, it's easy to say this, but at the time when he saved that, I thought, you know what, we're going to do this. I know it was February, but it just felt like everything was aligning for us to do it. And again, it's something that he deserves, Josh Vickers, to have that moment because he was superb. And it's all right to say, yeah, he had a good game against Shrewsbury, and he did. But that was just a special moment for him, I hope, anyway.
Yeah, it was, and what happened before that? We could have a whole new category for something else of the season, couldn't we? But we'd have to have a full episode just on that one, for various levels of dickery, for those people to win different awards. So yeah, it was quite pivotal. It was a massively important game for us, that, because Accrington are a tough side to beat. As they showed at their place, and for us to be able to get that victory in that game, it was absolutely massive. So Josh Vickers did what Josh Vickers does, and he kicks us in a game, didn't he? You know, and he earned us another 3 points. So it was a really pivotal save for me. That really important. So yeah.
Agreed. Ben, again, well, we'll let you and Danny have a word on this one. The Geordie aside 2-2 goal at Wembley. The goal that made me lose my voice like I've never lost before.
Yeah. Wicker have just gone through, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, which is annoying. The 2-2 goal was, it was just an amazing goal. It wasn't, well, it was a good finish, but like, I don't know, we weren't the better team. And just, I don't know, such a demoralising goal for them. You know, it's that's the kind of stuff you dream of. Cup final, last minute. But yeah, it wasn't Pizza Cup, weren't it? To be fair.
Oh God, give somebody else some grief, why don't you? Is you still got indigestion from your bow tie?
Yeah.
Jesus. Danny, Geordie aside 2-2. That was his moment, maybe potentially the moment in his career. We don't know how good he's going to go and what type of career he's going to have. But if he was to retire tomorrow, what a moment to his! What it could die happy man, couldn't it? Really, from a footballing point of view.
Yeah, good. By the way, Ben, you know, with your indigestion, I've got a mate who's a nurse and majorly kicking off with me about your indigestion comments.
Brilliant.
But yeah, anyway, Georgie Ozay 2-2 at Wembley. Yeah, it's I think he described it at the time. It's the moment of his career, didn't he? And he's taken it so well. You know, the cross across. I think it was from Freddie as well, who got the assist. And the one thing I can remember about it is that there was the pause just after it hit the net where everybody couldn't quite fathom what had happened. It was like, it's actually just scored, and then everything just erupted. but yeah, it has to be up there for moments of his career and probably moments for us because what it's the most dramatic way to send a cup final into extra time, isn't it? It's got FA Cup's got nothing on the EFL trophy.
I'm telling you, as the RUFC says, we are the entertainers. Get us involved in every good cup competition. Get us in Champions League. We'll make it entertaining for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring it our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Smith, the winner against Ipswich. Mick, again, Michael Smith, he just deserves to be in. And that ended that run. And it was on telly. It was a lovely day, lovely sunny day. And it was very much like his Wednesday goal. We could have included his Wednesday goal in there as well, to be honest with you. But just a superb finish from a superb player.
To rename this award as relief of the season, because all these moments have just created that feeling of complete relief. You know, that goal, the Ipswich goal was so important. You know, and we'd huffed and puffed for the whole of that game, and you were just getting to the point. It was just about to start to get to the point where we thought, we're going to be able to do this. Is a point enough? Is a point going to be enough? You know, and then up pops Smithy and does what he does, and the relief was it was the same as Tutu's goal at Wembley. You know, it was just like, I can't believe it's just happened. It was an immense feeling, and the crowd that day had been excellent as well. The weather were great, you know. It had just got that end of season means something feel about it, and obviously that goal just sort of put the crown on it, didn't it? Put the tin hat on it. Fantastic. Oh, sorry, for us it obviously have to be a tin pot hat, but you know what I mean. Nevertheless,
yeah. Kerry Louise says that the scaffolding stand at Gillingham not collapsing under our celebrations, aka the Georgie Kelly goal.
That has to be moment of the season.
Yes, it has.
Definitely.
Ben, we've talked about this a lot, but I don't think we'll ever tire of talking about or watching that Georgie Kelly goal. Literally everything about that goal is perfect. It's just perfect.
It's ridiculous. I've watched it multiple times. It's just so good, isn't it? It's just so good in every way, you know. And to kind of do that, and just for him, and kind of get that pressure off his back and get his first goal. He's not going to be, you know, he's not going to be playing next season. He's not going to go 10 games, and we're not going to be sitting saying, "Oh, I even scored a goal for us yet." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's got that goal down, and this, it's just so good in every way, innit? You know, just to send us up in the minute as well, in the last minute. Yeah, it was everything about it, everything.
I think we owed some sort of apology. I've still got bruises and cuts on the back of my legs from it. So, but we'll let him off. We'll let him off on that one. Danny, anything to add on the Georgie Kelly goal that hasn't? Well, I don't care. If it's already been said, say it again. Let's just enjoy it.
I think the one thing I can add is that I probably got less sunburnt at Gillingham than I did against Ipswich, which is weird. Because in the sunshine against Ipswich, I burnt my knees, I burnt my face, I burnt this arm. And then at Gillingham, it was like the opposite side. I burnt that side of my face and my right arm. So I've effectively got an even tan from the end of this season, which is great. And I don't. Is the last award by chance assist of the season?
Is what? Sorry.
Is the last award the assist of the season?
No, it's player of the season.
Okay, so if we had an assist of the season category, the fans at Gillingham would win it hands down. Every time I watch it back on Sky, it's the point of like at least 400 people just point at Georgie and assist at season. You know, I'm sorry, Chia, we've overtook your assist, mate, because now we have to do it for fans. But yeah, that goal at Gillingham, it's just special, you know. Wherever Georgie Kelly ends up in his career, I think all Rotherham fans will always say, "Do you remember that Georgie Kelly that used to play for us now is at such and such? Do you remember his goal against Gillingham?" That'll carry on for at least the next 30 years or so.
Yeah.
100%. Andrew Kelly points out Georgie Kelly's goal has to be watched with Matty Goodwin's commentary. The best commentary ever. It is an excellent bit of commentary. It is really good. Baz Green, his lad has got the match ball fully signed, then fully signed in town. That's some souvenir, that, isn't it? You know, and Zoe Ball's similar situation to me. Still got no skin on her ankle from Kelly's goal, worth every minute. Yeah, we do it all again, won't we? Danny, this may well be the least surprising winner of the night. Tell us who won moment of the season. My favourite category. What a category that is, by the way. I love it.
And the winner of moment of the season is. Like you see, I opened the last envelope so well, whereas this one's gone very badly wrong. And the winner of moment of the season is your boy, the bald bomber, Georgie Kelly. Well done. Well done on that one. Fully deserved.
Next season, we'll get some proper trophies, won't we? I know we have not got proper trophies. Let's get some proper trophies and give them.
That's a good idea. Give them to them.
But that involves asking players for their addresses, which would be a little bit suspect.
I was sent to club. Send them to club, and club can sort them out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Although I don't know who you'd give team performance. I don't know who would get the trophy for team performance of the season. Warwick can have it. Warwick can have it. By the way, we don't have manager of the season because we've only had one manager. But well done, Paul Warren. You have won Rotherham United manager of the season. Congratulations.
On his birthday as well. Well done, Warren.
And happy birthday. Happy birthday, Paul Warren. We've had a nice, calm day after last weekend's antics. Yes, happy birthday to the legend that is. We now come to our final category of the night, and no awards night is complete without a Player of the Season award. This list could have been narrowed down to about 7 players. There's been some amazing performances this season from players, but we've had to narrow it down to 4. So the 4 nominations we have are Michael Smith, Chio Ogbene, Dan Balasa, and Ben Wiles. As Mick said to me, Wes Harding could have got on this list. Ollie Rathbone could have been on this list. Both keepers could have been on this list. Icky could have been on this list. There's so many players that could have made it. It was really, this was the most difficult to find for me to put down to a 4. But we got there in the end. And let's start with one I don't think we've mentioned much tonight, Mick, in the categories. Chio Ogbene. He's just not fit into any of the categories we've had. But if we talk about Ben Wiles being a coming of age season, this is almost a coming of age season from Chio because he has been unstoppable. I said to it earlier, somebody, he's the most dangerous man in this division. Nobody else is more dangerous than Chio Ogbene for me in this division.
Absolutely. And he's going to get a run at Championship next season. He didn't get a fair run last time out. He is this time. They need to get ready. Because he's going to have got better. He will be better next season than he's been this season, because he is continuing that journey of improving season on season, week on week. So he's going to be a hell of a player. And he's got to be the happiest bloke I've ever seen in my life. He has just got to be. I mean, it's an absolute pleasure and an honour to have that man playing for our football club. It is. Yeah, it really, really is. And when he's up there in Premier League, which I'm sure he will be, I'm absolutely convinced he will be at some stage. We're able to sit down and go, he used to play for us, that lad. Yeah. He used to play for us. So yeah,
him over there,
yeah. Private joke. Yeah. Let's not go into that because we ain't got time.
No, we haven't. No, that's for another day. Another player, Ben, who is probably Premier League bound at some point in his career is Dan Balasa. He was, I think, he's top-rated central midfielder from the FIFA Team of the Season, which is a minor accolade, but it's still a pretty good accolade to have. He is improving season on season. Ben, this is his 3rd full season with us, including the loan. And again, his best season by far so far. I think he's been amazing. He's improving, and he is. For me, I think he's going to continue to improve.
Yeah, I don't know how many games he's played for us this season, but it can't be far off all of them because every week.
So an hour and 10 minutes, and you didn't want research. Now you want research.
He's got it because he's on team sheet nearly every week, and that's an achievement in itself. To stay fit for a whole year and perform at a high level like he does. So, credit to him for that, and then go on.
He's played 44 league games, 52 games in total this season.
So that's basically all of them, bar 2. which is at that level is good. I mean, just some of the passes that he makes is just ridiculous. Like we said it when he was on loan on loan to us that he was ridiculous, and then we signed him, and then he was it was even better. And I remember having the discussion when he was on loan about I was trying to sign him, and we were all a bit, he won't come to us.
It's not
too
happening,
good. Yeah, he's too good, and then he has he has come to us. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, 121 appearances in total over both of the London permanent spells, and he's had the best season of his career, not just because of his footballing stuff. He's his first kid as well, which obviously will make it even. He's in the last 12 months. He's won promotion, won the Papa John's Trophy, and had a child. What a perfect period of his life. So congratulations for everything on that, Mr. Balasa. We are very happy you are part of our club, along with many other players. Ben Wiles also gets a nod in this one, Danny. Is there anything more we can say about Ben Wiles that we haven't already said tonight? It's just, we love him, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And I think it's because he's a homegrown talent that just adds to it a little bit. Because, like we said, Dan Balasa is an absolutely exceptional midfielder, but when you've got one that's come through your academy, it sort of makes it's just a little bit more sprinkle on it, isn't it? And I think the best way to describe Wiles is how the EFL feature piece described him, the Roma Rocket. It's like, that's like the name you'd sort of give to a footballer back in like the 50s and the 60s. Like the old commentary going, and now we see the Roma Rocket running down the wing. That is Ben Wiles rolls into it.
Yeah, it is. Very much so is. And the final one is Michael Smith, 4th season at the club, I think. His best season in terms of goals, Mick. Would you say that it's his best season in terms of goals, but everything else has... Do you think everything else has stayed the same or improved? Everything else in his game?
Yeah, he's all right, isn't he? No, he's all right. He's not bad. I think his overall game has improved again. Like from last season, it improved. It going into last season, it's improved coming into this season. He has got better and better. And the great thing about it, from my point of view, is that everybody else just sees him still as this big lad up front. So a lot of the criticism we get, not criticism, we make it very easy for the Sky commentators and stuff like that, to give the long ball tag and everything else, because we brought the likes of Michael Smith up front. But that man's touch is as good as any I've ever seen in the flesh. He can pull a ball out of the air from wherever you want and kill it dead. Obviously, once that injury came along, his touch sort of started to let him down a little bit. But he's got just about everything he needs to play that position. And I know Ben's mentioned it a few times over the season in the podcast that he's kind of indispensable. I don't think anybody's indispensable, but I tell you what, he's trying to make himself that way, isn't he? He's been fantastic. And we've talked about it again many times on podcast time. The backstory as well just makes it even more fantastic. I don't know what will happen to him. Now this season is over. I hope he stays. I desperately hope he stays with us. If he doesn't, I will gladly, if I ever got the opportunity, shake his hand and wish him absolutely all the best, because he deserves, a piece of the financial pie that some of these clowns are getting that haven't got anywhere near the amount of commitment and done the amount of work that he's done to get to the position that he's in. So we'll see what happens, but he's been brilliant.
Yeah, I think most Millers echo that sentiment. If this is the end, so be it. What a way to end, and what a way to shake hands and move on. Any other honourable mentions that I've not mentioned?
Where's Harding?
Oh, you've mentioned Wes Harding. Yes, Wes Harding had a great season. That's not me having a dig at Wes Harding has, but making sure about him.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Big one, the Player of the Season award. And the winner is Michael Smith.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly,
well deserved.
but fully deserved. Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to cover, boys? If you had an award, Mick, what would you give an award this season? Would it have been stupid social media comment of the year, or would it have been something else?
I was trying for that one, but you weren't going to let me have that one. We're a bit too controversial, so I think we've done about right with that. I think we've covered most of what we needed to cover. I know you mentioned about Dan Balasa having all these stuff happening to having a little baby and everything else, but you know, he hasn't won one of these awards, so his season is not quite complete, is it? You know?
That's true. That's very true.
I'm sure he'll be heartbroken.
Sorry, Dan.
Ruined his season. Sorry, Dan.
Fans have spoken and all that.
I think he may be the most nominated player as well, not to win.
Yeah.
Sorry. Russ Vernon, Mick Rant of the Year. That would be. Yeah, there was some.
I already know the winner to that one. It's the one where he went on a massive rant about referees whilst we were talking to Richard Wood, to the point where it actually got him in a bit of bother. That wins hands down for me.
I rewatched that recently. That was like Woody's face when you started mentioning it. You were fine until you said, "Why did you not punch him?" And then Woody's face like, "Oh no, I've got to think of it."
I kind of regret that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam.
Andrew Wignall, Manscape Advert of the Year. Danny, yours was very good, but nothing compares to Ben.
I'm quite happy to concede that one to Ben, to be honest.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that advert of Ben's, I highly recommend that you watch it.
I see what you've done there, Mick. I see it. Yes. Oh, Phil Rollinson, my vote for best podcast goes to New York Talk. It's very kind of you. We're the only ones in the category, but we'll take it.
Hey.
The win, as they say. Thank you all for being involved in our awards night. We've had a good laugh, as we always do. We'll save the bow ties for this time next year, when we will go again. We'll try and get some trophies next year. We'll see what happens. This is not it for that season, though. On Thursday will probably be our final episode of this season's, where we reveal our predictions. Lewis Oldham has his prediction now. I'll see if he's available to come on the show. If not, we will read them out anyway. So they Phil Robinson, Danny wins dodgiest headset of the year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've already had my mate message me going, "When's your birthday? Because I'm going to buy you a new headset for it." It's like, right, okay.
Yes. Brilliant. We're back Thursday. We'll reveal nominations. We'll talk about the playoffs and how they finish up, so who wins the attendance award. Perfect stuff. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. Mick, Ben, Danny, you all look amazing, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you very much.
Freddy's on one-on-one. Freddy turning shoot. Container shot. Unbelievable! Apologies to the neighbours.